You know, in our last guide together, thousands of you used the techniques we discussed to fix some of your most stubborn, frustrating rose problems. And honestly, it was truly wonderful to see. But now it's time to elevate our gardens. We're moving on from roses that are merely surviving to bushes that are genuinely, absolutely magnificent. We want to grow the kinds of roses that literally stop people at the garden gate. You know the ones? Those heavy, intensely fragrant blooms that just seem to keep coming from June right through to October without a single interruption. To achieve that level of mastery, we're going to cover 9 specific, actionable habits that experienced growers use. These are the crucial practices that most general gardening advice completely skips over, but they make all the difference in the world. Now, before we dive right in, I want to plant a little seed of curiosity about the 9th habit on our list. It costs absolutely nothing. It takes 5 minutes, just once a year, yet experienced growers consistently call it the single biggest difference between roses that bloom adequately and roses that are truly spectacular. We'll keep its identity a bit of a mystery, just for a little while longer. Okay, let's get into it. Secret 1 is ruthlessly choosing a rose's position based on environmental conditions rather than just falling in love with a pretty picture on a plant tag. Master growers choose by conditions first. As Royal Horticultural Society trialists have consistently shown, picking a highly disease-resistant variety like Olivia Rose Austin for a less-than-ideal spot will outperform a fussier, more spectacular variety planted in the wrong place every single time. It's really all about matching the plant's inherent strengths to the environment you actually have. There are essentially 4 non-negotiable conditions for incredible roses: 6 hours of direct sun, well-drained soil, good air circulation, and enough root space without tree competition. Missing even one of these guarantees a struggle, but meeting them, well, that means drastically less care over the plant's decades-long life. Get the placement right, and the rose basically does the hard work for you. So take the time to find that perfect spot. Your future self and your roses will genuinely thank you for it. Let's move along to Secret 2, which is adopting a precisely timed feeding schedule. We aren't just feeding randomly here, or matching what the plant actually needs at its specific stage of growth. Late winter gets slow-release manure or compost to build the soil. Early spring gets a balanced feed. But the absolutely crucial point is right here: the post-first flush high-potash feed. As soil agronomists frequently point out, this specific hit of potassium is the scientifically backed trigger for a spectacular second bloom. Without it, your second flush is delayed, it's smaller, and it's honestly a bit disappointing. Finally, a midsummer feed rounds out the entire year. Adopting this kind of schedule is incredibly simple, and your roses will reward your consistency beautifully year after year. And just a gentle reminder, that free 5-minute secret that changes everything, it's still coming up. Secret 3 is pruning with complete confidence. Now, I know most casual gardeners are quite nervous about pruning, but master growers routinely remove half to 2/3 of the bush without batting an eye. The key is to make your cut to an outward-facing bud at a slight downward angle, which seamlessly sheds rainwater. This brilliantly illustrates research from the Royal National Rose Society, which consistently proves that hard, confident pruning actually maximizes flowers and creates the strongest, most resilient new growth. So have courage with those secateurs. The plant eagerly wants to reward your bold cuts with vigorous new life. Unpacking Secret 4, we look at deep base watering. Shallow, frequent watering creates dependent, surface-level roots that become severely stressed by the very first sign of summer heat. Deep, infrequent watering, on the other hand, builds incredible drought tolerance. Botanical studies show that deep watering encourages root systems to reach cooler, moisture-rich subsoils, creating a much stronger foundation for the plant. Always water at the base of the plant. Wetting the leaves simply invites fungal spores. And if you add a thick layer of mulch around the base, you'll actually reduce your overall watering needs by about 1/3. What this deep watering means for you is that missing a day won't cause your roses to fail, which should completely wash away any past gardening guilt you might be holding on to. You're building a resilient plant that can look after itself, and yes, our 5-minute secret is getting a little closer now. Now, what's really fascinating about Secret 5 is the exact timing and technique for deadheading. Don't wait for the flower to die completely and turn brown on the stem. Instead, watch for the very first petal to drop. Then, locate the first leaf down the stem that has 5 or more leaflets, and make your cut just above its axil bud. Master rosarians have actually documented that cutting at this highly vigorous point triggers a new flush of flowers a full 3 to 4 weeks earlier than shallow deadheading. Just remember, once flowering roses should be left alone entirely so you can enjoy their beautiful winter hips when the cold weather sets in. Secret 6 is preventative disease management. We want to simply deny fungal spores the exact environment they require to survive. Agricultural extensions studying plant pathology consistently emphasize that fungi desperately need still, humid air and overwintering leaf litter to reproduce. So we water only at the base, we prune the center of the bush open to let the summer breeze flow freely right through it, and we consistently remove any fallen leaves. By simply modifying these physical conditions in your garden, the disease fundamentally struggles to take hold. If you've battled black spot before, please remember it is not a personal failure on your part. It's just a biological mismatch that we can easily and calmly correct together. We have just 2 more habits to cover until we reveal that final mysterious secret. Secret 7 is deliberate companion planting, nicely backed by extensive horticultural research. You see, these aren't just pretty neighbors, they actively function as a biological shield for the rose. Alliums, for instance, release sulfur compounds directly from their roots, which actively suppresses black spot deep down in the soil. Lavender deters greenfly with its volatile oils and brings in beneficial predators like ladybirds. And geranium roseanne creates a beautiful living mulch, covering bare soil and physically preventing those fungal spores from splashing back up onto the rose leaves during heavy rain. Nature already has a defense system designed. We just have to invite the right players into the garden. Secret 8 is preparing for winter, and we actually do this months in advance. By the end of July, you must stop feeding completely. Horticultural science clearly shows that feeding late in the season pushes the rose into producing soft, tender new growth. This sappy growth simply cannot harden before the first frost hits, and that frost-damaged tissue becomes an open invitation for canker fungi to enter the plant. In autumn, reduce the top height of the bush by 1/3 so the fierce winter winds don't rock the plant and tear its delicate roots. Then just leave your main annual prune for late winter. Setting your roses up for winter like this gives them the quiet strength they need to absolutely explode into life the following spring. All right, the final 5-minute secret that changes absolutely everything is up next. Secret 9, the real foundation of it all, a cheap, simple soil test. Roses are incredibly pH sensitive, honestly far more than most garden plants. To truly thrive, to produce those magnificent, gate-stopping blooms, they rely entirely on an exact, optimal soil pH range right between 6.0 and 6.5. The reason why is quite profound. If your soil pH drops below 6.0, crucial nutrients like iron and magnesium are literally locked out of the plant. The rose simply cannot absorb them, no matter how much expensive fertilizer you apply on top. Conversely, if the pH goes above 6.5, phosphorus and manganese are locked out. A simple soil test reveals this hidden limiting factor in just a few minutes. If your pH is too high, you gently work in some sulfur chips to lower it. If it's too low, you just add agricultural lime. Doing this instills a deep, quiet confidence in your gardening. Getting this very foundation right is exactly what makes every single other habit we've discussed work to its absolute fullest potential. Test the soil, and the roses will definitely tell you the difference themselves. So let's just take a look at all 9 secrets together. Right position, timed feed, hard prune, deep base water, 5-leaflet deadhead, prevent disease, functional companions, winter prep, and that completely crucial soil test. Understanding the why behind each of these makes all your garden decisions automatic. Magnificent roses simply become the natural, inevitable result of your care. I really hope this explainer deeply empowers your gardening this year. Please do give it a like and subscribe if you found this helpful, and I warmly invite you to leave a comment below telling me which of these 9 habits you are going to adopt this season. I promise to read every single response. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today, and as always, happy growing. And ask yourself tonight, what hidden, spectacular potential is just waiting to be unlocked in the soil of your very own garden?